Travel consideration provided by...
Every time I needed a new phone, I had to switch carriers.
I told him, at Verizon, everyone can get the best deals. Like that iPhone 15 on them.
Switching all the time, it wasn't easy.
35. You're gonna be here forever.
And
here's your wireless contract.
Do I need a lawyer for this? Those were hard days.
Representative switch.
Now that I got a huge storage and battery upgrade, I'm officially done switching.
New and existing customers get iPhone 15 on us when they trade in any iPhone, any condition, guaranteed.
I really wish you told me sooner.
I did.
How did you know you picked the right guy to be the young Gibbs? I didn't. I don't.
Monday on ET, we're with Mark Harmon and the stars of NCIS Origins. All right, now let's get to Oscar winner Natalie Portman. She's pulling double duty in front of the camera and behind it for her new Apple TV Plus series, Lady in the Lake. But last night, we celebrated with Natalie on the island of Manhattan. Bye, everybody.
I can't just be someone's wife.
It was wild to inhabit her intensity.
Happening now.
It was an early morning Amber Alert. A 7-month-old, investigators say, was taken by his mother, is now safe. What they say that mother was planning and why others might be facing charges.
Last year, the San Antonio pastor almost lost his life. In the end, he ended up just losing a leg. Today, he met with the medical staff that helped him get back and used to his new normal.
Another day of pop-up downpours. I'll have a close look at Authority radar, where it's raining now, where the rain is going, and how long this pattern will last. The news at 5 starts right now.
And we begin tonight with the rain that is out there on the radar right now. Another day, as Kasky said, of those showers moving through South Texas. Let's get right to Adam with where that rain is at this moment, Adam, and where it is headed this evening.
Yeah, we've got a good area of rain across South Central Texas, kind of like the past couple of days. Good soaking pop-up downpours out there. Of the tropical variety, really, with the big fat raindrops in some of them. Now, you take a look at the radar at the moment, and I've got it static right now. Some of the heaviest downpours far south and west of San Antonio, particularly Real County, even just west of Pearsall, a bit of the heavier activity as well. I'll loop this over the past hour so you can see the movement. And these are really just drifting around, and they don't really have very defined motion. They pop up, they move just a little bit in a general vicinity of where they developed, and then eventually rain themselves out. Some of these pushing northward a little bit. You see this downpour that's approaching Elmendorf right now, Graytown, city of Calaveras as well. That's along 181. We're going to take a look at how much rain has fallen and where in just a little bit.
All right, we'll see you in a few minutes, Adam. Thank you. A 7-month-old baby at the center of an Amber Alert today is back in a safe place this evening. Bexar County Sheriff deputies have tracked down that child along with his mother, who they say took him illegally. Katrina Weber shows us why some other adults in this case could also be in trouble with the law.
Their faces were plastered all over cyberspace, their names in early morning phone alerts. The effort to find 7-month-old Richard Ramey and his 30-year-old mother, Nicole DeGuano, was urgent. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office said he was in grave danger. Hours later, deputies had found him.
He looks good. He looks like a happy, healthy baby, other than a couple scratches on his arm.
Sheriff Javier Salazar says the baby was with his mother on a piece of property off South Foster Road, not far from Highway 181 South. The pair had disappeared Wednesday night from a home about 10 miles away near Adkins.
Our deputies were following up, just, rechecking addresses we'd already checked, and sure enough, they found her.
Salazar says the mother had been ordered to turn over her son to Child Protective Services, but took off instead.
The information that we had is that this young lady was making a plan to flee to El Paso.
What happened here bears some similarities to another Amber Alert earlier this year. In that case, 32-year-old Savannah Krieger took off with her 3-year-old son, Caden. But investigators say she killed the child and herself.
That's what causes cops and first responders to lose sleep at night, is cases like that.
This time around, there is a different ending. The child's safe and a mother in trouble with the law. Salazar says when deputies found the pair, there were 3 other adults in the home, people who also may be facing charges. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
If you're an AT&T customer, chances are your data has been compromised. Today, the company reported a hack that dates back 2 years. The company says from May 1st of 2022 to October 31st of that year, tens of millions of customers' metadata was stolen by hackers. A professor at UTSA broke that down for us today, saying that the hackers got information about who customers called, plus GPS coordinates to cell towers were able to be tracked. So why are we just now hearing about this? Well, AT&T didn't realize the hack had happened.
Often it may take months or sometimes even years for a vendor to uncover that they've had a breach.
UTSA professor Max Kilger says there are some things you can do to protect yourself right now. Things like being careful about the information that you disclose on social media, including posting your location. And don't respond to text messages that you don't recognize. As for those big telecom companies, Kilger says they need more cybersecurity experts.
There's a desperate need for them. There's a huge gap between the number that are employed at the moment and the number that are actually needed. They can't fill many of the positions.
At least one person has been arrested for this AT&T hack. Let's take a look out there right now at Loop 410 near, this is I-37 rather, and Hackberry. There's a problem on the road right now. You can see one lane is blocked off. Clearly an accident, something we've got tow trucks out there, a fire truck working to clean this up. Now, there was definitely a different kind of mess earlier today at Loop 410 near Medina Base Road. Here's what that looked like. Investigators say they don't know what led to this crash around 8 a.m. Police say a driver was headed south on Southwest Loop 410 near Medina Base when he suddenly crossed into northbound traffic. The car hit the back of an 18-wheeler and split into two and then caught fire. The driver died, and his identity has not yet been released. There's a lot to be on the lookout for out on the roads, including some major construction closures that are happening this weekend. RJ Marquez gives you a heads up.
Well, for drivers on the northwest side, we had a little bit of a break on construction due to the 4th of July holiday, but that will no longer be the case this weekend as we're taking a look at one of our TransGuide traffic cameras. And you see some of the flyovers coming into place there as they continue to work on the interchange there at 1604 and I-10. So we are going to see some more closures this weekend. This is slated to start Friday night and run through 5 a.m. Monday morning. But you know what? For the most part, KSAT has actually been pretty good about clearing things out before we get to that Monday time frame. Want to let you know about this closure though. So what we're going to see this weekend is 1604 west from I-10 to Lock Hill Selma. This stretch of road right here from Lock Hill Selma, including Tradesman and Vance Jackson, that will be closed this weekend. Also going to have one main lane closed on I-10 East. That's going to be the right lane right there at the interchange, and the two left clover leaves that will also be closed throughout the entire weekend. Again, this closure going into effect Friday night at 9 p.m. and lasting through Monday 5 a.m. But in terms of everything that's going on out there, this is actually not too bad of a closure. Just keep in mind that there will be detours out there and of course traffic officers to help drivers navigate through this closure this weekend. We have more information on this, KSAT.com. Make sure you guys stay safe and have a good weekend.
President Joe Biden vowing to stay in the race as questions continue to swirl surrounding his candidacy. He's back on the campaign trail today in Michigan after hosting world leaders in Washington and that rare solo, nearly hour-long news conference last night. Still more Democrats are calling on Biden to pull out of this presidential race. Michael Yoshida joins us from the White House with the very latest. Michael.
Hey there, Myron. As we talk about that growing pressure, we're now learning that former President Barack Obama as well as Nancy Pelosi speaking privately about President Biden's 2024 campaign and his ability to beat former President Donald Trump. Those conversations happening as the New York Times now reporting tens of millions of dollars contributed to the campaign now on hold from major donors. Still, the president saying his campaign is full speed ahead.
After hosting NATO leaders in Washington this week, President Joe Biden heading back on the campaign trail as he vows to stay in the 2024 presidential race.
I'm just going to keep moving.
In a press conference Thursday, Biden looked to put aside concerns over his debate performance and ability to beat former President Donald Trump.
I'm the most qualified person to run for president. I beat him once, and I will beat him again.
There was a notable gaffe when he mistakenly referred to Vice President Harris as Trump, but the president also offered in-depth answers on foreign policy and the economy.
We're seeing President Biden talk about foreign policy and all these leaders and these issues. Trump is down at Mar-a-Lago with Orban, an authoritarian, egotistical sycophant of Putin.
But more lawmakers are calling on Biden to step aside, including the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee.
We just went 10 days where the story was not Donald Trump promising totalitarianism. It was, how is Joe Biden going to do in the big boy press conference?
In a statement Friday, House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries announced he met with the president Thursday night, expressing heartfelt perspectives and conclusions about the path forward that the caucus has shared in our recent time together. But Jeffries did not explicitly endorse Biden's campaign. This comes as vulnerable House and Senate Democrats worry Biden's candidacy will impact their own races, putting the congressional balance of power at risk.
And Saturday, President Biden will meet virtually with a group of congressional Democrats next week. He's back on the campaign trail heading to Texas and Nevada. While in Texas, he'll sit down for another high-stakes national interview as he tries to convince voters and lawmakers that he's up for a second term. Live at the White House, Mike Yoshida, KSAT 12 News.
Michael, thank you. A San Antonio pastor lost his leg to a flesh-eating bacterial infection, but he survived, and that was last summer. Now, a year later, Garrett Berger was there today as Doug Roberts visited the team that helped him recover and get used to his new normal.
Hey! Hey, how's it going? Good, how have you been?
It's good to see you.
Welcome.
For more than 2 months last summer, Doug Roberts recovered at Methodist Hospital's Stone Oak Rehabilitation Clinic. Today, more than 10 months later, he was back for a visit.
It's great to see everyone. Brings back some emotions, some good, some not great, but overall, good.
His time here was the beginning of a hard transition. Physical therapy 3 times a day was no picnic.
I mean, we kicked his butt while he was here. I love seeing Doug. Just seeing the progress that he's made and just the positivity around everything that he's been through. It's been amazing.
Also present was Roberts' orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Nicholas Gherkin.
Hey, long time no see, man.
You gonna bark in my ear here? No. The man who not only worked on Roberts' left leg, but more recently on replacing his right knee.
When I'm satisfied is in 6 weeks, 8 weeks from now when I see him walking for the first time, really, and being able to, have a high quality of life now.
Though still a different one. Roberts misses playing pickleball and basketball, but he has been able to return to being a pastor. And he gave a prayer of thanks for the people who have helped him.
Each and every one of these people are making a difference every day in the lives of people. Great to be here with you guys.
Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Developing right now, a man wanted for murder in Dallas has been caught in Medina County. 25-year-old Naudi Hernandez Perez is believed to have been trying to run away to Mexico. When Medina County deputies pulled him over, they say that he drove off into the median along I-35 in Divine. The sheriff's office posted photos on Facebook. They say that he tried to run off, but deputies caught up to him. Still ahead here at 5 o'clock, a human trafficking investigation is underway right now in North Texas, and bed bugs are involved. How they helped tip off authorities. We're going to explain that next. Coming up today at 6 o'clock, a man accused in a horrific case of neglect was sentenced today. The victim was his own mother. And the judge did not hold back today. We'll take you inside that courtroom with what she had to say on the news at 6. A case of bed bugs may have led police to a human trafficking ring. This is in Princeton, Texas. That's northeast of Dallas. Officers say they got a call from exterminators there who reported seeing some unusual living conditions for more than a dozen women. Andrea Lucia has that story.
On a quiet street of newly constructed homes in Princeton, no one, it seems, noticed anything odd about this house. That is, until the bed bugs arrived. A local pest control company says it got a call to come out and treat the house. But inside here, a technician says he found 3 to 5 women sleeping on the floor of each bedroom, a large number of suitcases, and no furniture other than folding tables and an air mattress. Police came to check out this suspicious activity and say they found 15 women living inside, all between 23 and 26 years old. 4 suspects have since been arrested in the investigation, all on charges of human trafficking. According to an arrest affidavit, police learned through interviews that the women were in what they believed were internships, learning JavaScripting or basic computer programming and applying for jobs. Once they got the jobs, police say the companies the women worked for would pay Santosh Katkuri and Dwarka Gunda, who would take a 20% cut of the salary.
It's very new to us too, so we're working through it. And
Lieutenant Jesus Rodriguez says it's the first time Princeton has worked a case like this, and it's getting help from the Department of Homeland Security, studying laptops, phones, and fake documents seized from the house. They suspect this is part of a much larger operation, with potentially 100 victims or more.
And we believe they have other homes around the area for operation as well.
That was Andrea Lucia reporting. Let's take a look outside with live cam. Another lucky afternoon for us, not only seeing some rain, but look at that temperature. We're in the 80s, Adam.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like our high temperature, I haven't gotten the official report, but has been kept to about 88 degrees today. And how impressive is that, considering the average high is 94. Now, taking a look at Authority radar, you see the scattering of activity out there. Some downpours, some very light in nature. It really depends on where you are. We had the downpours on the far north side of town earlier today, and now it's mainly just the low clouds in place. South side of town, that's where we're getting some of this light activity, particularly right around 410 and 37. The heavier action right now in Elmendorf. This is that very random pop-up spotty activity that we get in these tropical air masses this time of year. And we're fortunate to get this. I mean, you take a look at the actual rainfall rates within some of these downpours. Now, keep in mind, it's not going to rain for a whole hour, but if it did rain for a whole hour, you look at these areas here near Elmendorf, you would pick up between 6 and 7 inches of rainfall. Now, we haven't had that much rain, but we have over the past 12 hours seen some pretty good accumulations out there. Let's go to the 12-hour rainfall totals. And everywhere you see a color on the screen, that's where we got rainfall. So you see a lot of it here. Green indicates at least a ½ inch of rain. Yellow indicates a radar estimate of 2 inches or more. So let's go right on here. I'd mentioned the downpours on the far north side earlier today, where we have all the construction, I-10 and 1604. It doesn't help the construction situation, and sometimes you get poor drainage when you have the road construction. But look at this. Near La Cantera and the Rim, 2.2 to 2.5 inches of rain estimated on the radar. You go westward into the Helotes area, just over 2 inches. But then not that far away, we're talking a matter of miles, just basically a trace of rain as you get closer to Alamo Ranch. We're talking 0.05 inches. So look at this. From basically UTSA down to Alamo Ranch, a 9-mile difference in distance, but a 2-inch difference in actual rainfall amounts. That's just the nature of it. And luckily we have seen some heavier rain showers in previous days where we didn't get it today. You go down in Elmendorf, where I was talking about the downpours that were coming down right now, and already over 2 inches near Greytown. So it's good to see this activity. It will continue to fizzle out gradually as the hours go by, and after sunset, it should be completely over with. So take a look at this. Another way to look at it throughout the day today. These are the radar estimates, but it's over the past 6 hours. So it shows the rain developing, and you see the swaths of rain that popped up in our area. And coming up at 6, we'll take a look at some actual rain gauge reports and also compare it to the drought monitor, which, by the way, was updated yesterday. Now, tomorrow, I think we're going to have more of the same. We'll have more of these pop-up downpours, very random in nature. A slight chance in the morning. Our futurecast is indicating that. But by the afternoon, it becoming more widespread and the pop-up downpours being more numerous. Nothing severe. This is just good soaking rain that sometimes, as you can see, can drop up to 2 inches of rain if you're in one of the lucky sweet spots. So rain showers coming to an end over the next few hours. We'll have a 20% chance in the morning tomorrow. Then by the early afternoon, we're talking 1 o'clock, it's up to 40%. So better coverage for the afternoon, kind of like what we had today. The second half of the day, we'll have better coverage. Temperature-wise, a lot of us in the 80s because of the rain. Del Rio an exception at 98, but Panna Maria 1.3 inches. Near Lavernia, in Rogers' backyard, 1.3 inches. Helen's backyard, Seguin, 1.15. Tomorrow, 75 in the morning, 92 in the afternoon. Those scattered pop-up downpours, but mainly dry as we get into Sunday today. We're not looking at as much and dry again into the early part of next week. However, there will be some more dust in the air. We'll talk about that at 6.
All right, we'll see you in a bit, Adam. Thank you. Okay, Larry joins us now in the studio, and the Spurs, Larry, they are in Sin City.
Yes, they're in Las Vegas, so they held practice yesterday at their team hotel. They had a couple of basketball courts set up, so the Spurs are there. They're getting ready, and you know what? They want to get back on the court because they love that winning feeling. Plus, Danny Green really digs the Spurs' offseason moves coming up.
Excited, man. I mean, it's gonna be fans, atmosphere, and it's gonna remind me of UNC. You know, I've been to UNC this year, so there's a lot of fans. Used to it, I'm ready for it.
Spurs rook Harrison Ingram is ready to play under the bright lights of Las Vegas and Big Board Sports. The Spurs Summer League squad is working out in Las Vegas as they get ready to open up Vegas play tomorrow night. The Spurs will play at least 5 games in Las Vegas and perhaps more if they're one of the top 4 teams to advance in the playoffs. The Spurs had a 3-game tune-up in California in Sacramento where they went 1-2. Now they lost their first 2 games to the Hornets and Kings and finished Cali play by beating the Chinese national team 89-67. That win made the Spurs feel much better about themselves heading to Las Vegas.
I think it's always good, you know, to end off on a win, you know, have momentum, people's shots going in, people feeling confident, team, you know, we're meshing together, trying to get to know each other, hanging out off the court, but, you know, to end on a win is good going into Vegas.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like our team's really on the uphill right now. I mean, we had a good practice today, you know, had a great showing, or a great last showing in SAC, so, you know, I feel like we got a lot of momentum coming into Vegas right now, so, you know, we just want to go out there and try and win games.
The young Spurs will take on the Trailblazers tomorrow night at 8 at the Thomas & Mack Center. Former Spurs shooting guard Danny Green was in town last night holding a basketball camp at Sotomayor High School. The campers got to learn hoops from Danny and his staff. They got a photo with Green and one item signed by the 3-time NBA champion. Danny said it's always great to come back to the 2-0 and the fans always welcome him. Now, when it comes to the Spurs, who Danny won a title with in 2014, they've made some moves this offseason via the draft and in free agency, bringing on vets Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes. The UNC Tar Heel likes what the Spurs are doing.
I like it. I love it. We got 2 Carolina guys here now, Harrison Barnes and then Harrison Ingram. We got 2 Harrisons, so it's great, man. I love the start of it. Obviously at Wemby, you picked up some good draft picks, so it's looking pretty good. You know, it's only going to hopefully take sooner than later, but I hope another year or 2 for you guys to get the pieces you need.
Speaking of the Spurs' biggest piece, Victor Wembanyama and Team France played Serbia today in an Olympic tune-up. Wemby had 14 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 blocks in 28 minutes. Nikola Jokic led Serbia with 20 points and 12 rebounds as Serbia takes it 79-67.
All right, thank you, Larry. We'll be right back.
Right now, the most robust showers are in parts of the hill country, scattered around Edwards County, Rial County as well, and Kerr County. We know Kerrville did recently over the past hour get a shower, but that has come to an end. Locally, there's a little bit of activity left over, not a whole lot. It's mainly very light, and what we have out there is gradually fizzling out and fading away, and that's going to be the case in the coming hours. Even this good rain east of town will slowly be coming to an end, especially as the sun sets thereafter. Just a couple rogue showers possible left over. But then as we get into tomorrow, we're going to see more of the same, we think. We'll see some pop-up downpours, especially by the midday into the afternoon with about 40% coverage at any time the second half of the day. And a little bit of hope next week, 20% chance Wednesday through Friday. And notice, under 100.
Yeah, no, I noticed. That does it for 5 o'clock. We'll see you right back here at 6. World News is next.